Shifting our focus to the Russia-Ukraine war, after the fall of Pokrovsk, eastern Ukraine is now focused on a new strategic flashpoint, the city of Seversk. This comes as Moscow claims its forces have taken control, but Kyiv insists that the fight is far from over. Video released by the Russian Defense Ministry shows troops posing with flags in Seversk. Russian President Putin praised his forces after commanders told him that the city of Seversk had been captured. Moscow said its troops overcame Ukrainian defenses through targeted assaults.
The
liberation of the city of Seversk and the successful offensive operations in this direction significantly advance a new, successful, I have no doubt about it, offensive in other directions, expelling Ukrainian armed forces from our territory and restoring peaceful life in the Donbass.
Now remember, Seversk sits on key supply routes in Donetsk and is a stepping stone towards Slovyansk, which is one of the last major cities held by Ukraine in the region. Whoever controls Seversk can shape the direction of future offensives. Russian forces also claim to capture nearby cities, including Kucherovka and Kurilovka. However, Kyiv rejects Moscow's claims. Ukraine's Operation Task Force says the city remains under Ukrainian control, with troops blocking infiltration attempts. Ukraine also reports fierce fighting in the northern districts of Pokrovsk, where Russian units have tried to break through. In fact, Ukrainian soldiers were also seen reinforcing fortifications near Pokrovsk. Now, Pokrovsk, remember, was also claimed by Moscow on the 1st of December. It happened just days ahead of American envoys holding talks with President Putin. But 10 days later, Ukraine continues to claim that they still hold parts of the city. Ukraine is, remember, also engaged in intense diplomatic efforts. Volodymyr Zelensky says that Kyiv has presented the U.S. with a revised 20-point framework to end the war.
We are ready to work with President Trump in any format. And if President Trump is speaking more about elections in Ukraine, I want to say this very openly. We can try to hold elections. Ukraine is not hiding from democracy, but to make elections possible, there must be a security component, and America can help with this the most.
Now, with Pokrovsk still partially contested and Seversk at the center of the next clash, both Moscow and Kyiv are digging in. The Donetsk front remains highly contested, and the fate of Seversk can change the direction of the war. As diplomacy continues behind the lines, but on the battlefield, the fight is far from over.